Hi beauties, welcome back to our channel. So for this video we are going to be playing with the ABH Norvina Collection Volume 2. I already did the Norvina ABH Collection Volume 1, the purple palette. I liked how it turned out. I did a AM look and a PM look. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. I also do have the Norvina Volume 3 that I want to do an AM and PM look with. And on Monday of this week they did release a Norvina Volume 4, which I did order and place, so that will be part of the series as well. But I cannot wait to open this up and dive in and see what looks we can create both for the daytime and nighttime. Also, please keep in mind that if you want to be entered into our giveaway, just make sure you are subscribed on our channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified of upcoming content, because we have a lot going on. I think I explained a lot of that in my first video that I did on this series. And then make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter, because if I'm not posting or uploading a video on YouTube, I am definitely on Twitter. My stories are always updated. Well, majority of the time I'm trying to stay on top of that, so make sure you're following us there. But other than that, let's get started. So besides that, let's jump into this palette and see what looks we create. Again, I want to do my daytime look first and then my nighttime look second, because the second one's gonna be a little more dramatic than the daytime look, so I'll do the daytime first and then the nighttime second, like I did the last one. I know these palettes are not new, they've been out for quite a while, but it's my first time playing with them, and I wanted to play with a lot of eyeshadows while we're waiting on a lot of different launches, and I really want to get into doing more tutorials. Let me know what you think about the first one and also what you think about this one. If you like this types of series, definitely let me know down below. But if you haven't seen this palette, this is what it looks like unboxed. There is a ton of blues, obviously, with the blue palette. This one is definitely calling my name. I think I'm gonna have to play with this one a lot. I think this one will probably be the hardest to try and figure out a daytime look with, but I'm gonna put myself to the test and see what we can create. So I'm gonna hop off camera quick and prime my eyes. If you are new here, I do use the P. Louise base in Rumor 1, and I'm just gonna prime my eyes, set them with some powder, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my eyes are now set with the P. Louise base, and then I did set it with the Coty Airspun powder. I kind of had a chance to look at this while I was off camera setting my eyes, and I think this one makes me the most nervous in regards to creating a daytime look. But I feel like I can definitely play with this yellow and this orange and this brown. I think I can even put a little green in there and still make it daytime appropriate. Now, while this is a tutorial video, it's not a review video, I did notice that a lot of it did not fall out on my face. So you can see I did not set my under eyes like I did with the first video. I hope I do not live to regret that decision, but I think we should be okay with just moving forward with how we are now. I definitely want to do something different than I did with the first video. Let me see if I can find a good blender brush. Oh. Okay, so let's start with our packing brush, and this is the JH37. And I think I really want to pick up this really pretty orange shade in the pan. This is called D2. Now, as you can see, there is a ton of kickback in the pan. I explained that in the first video as well, but just in case you are new to watching this and didn't watch the first one, there's a lot of kickback, but it's really pigmented on the brush in the pan. I did not notice a lot of it on my eyes when I was applying it, so that's a good thing. And I usually just start stamping it right on the very end of my lid, as you can see, and like right into the crease. I start stamping it. I only go a little far in. I like to really stamp the pigment here and then just kind of decide from there where I want to drag the color to. Okay, so I blended that out pretty good. I'm going to take the Stamper Packer brush is what I call it, tap off some of the excess and do the exact same thing to the other eye. Okay, so you can see that we have the orange completely blended out. It is very vibrant and very pigmented. I think the next thing I want to do to keep it very simple is I want to use... Let's keep it simple and just use C5, which is like a very pretty chocolatey shade. We'll just start to slowly stamp it here where we placed the orange shade originally. We're not going to take it up as high because we really want it to keep it low so we can kind of open the eyes and define them, kind of giving them more like a three-dimensional look. As you can see, I'm not bringing it completely into the eye. I'm only bringing it like probably not even halfway, like 3/4. Okay, so now that I have that shadow where I wanted to define the eyes and open them up more and give them more of a three-dimensional shape, I'm going to use C1, and I have the JH44 brush. It's kind of a thicker flathead brush. I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus and spray the brush. As you can see, I did not crease my eye. I'm just dragging the shade with the MAC Fix Plus on it a little bit higher than my actual crease. And I'm not taking it all the way, just to where we see that really pretty chocolatey brown shade. And my brush is still pretty wet, so I'm just going to continue on to the other eye. Okay, so then I think I want to take the C5 shade, again, that chocolatey brown, and I want to just pack a little bit on the JH05 brush, the same one I used to pack it on originally, and I'm just going to softly bring it more on the lid, just so that it's a more subtle transition between the gold and that chocolate shade. Makes everything look more seamless. And then I cleaned off the brush. I'm going to dip back into D2, which was the original orange shade we used. And I'm just going to softly blend up here just to make sure there aren't any harsh lines and everything looks nice and blended and smooth. And then for a fun little pop of color, I wanted to use this really pretty bright green shade, B1. And this is a dry flat brush. I'm using the JH41. I'm just going to run this against my waterline. Because just because it's daytime does not mean that we can't play, and it has to be boring. Being very precise and placing it on this waterline. And then just like the last video, I think I'm going to do a wing liner and then just a mascara and not a falsie. I really want to keep it easy and simple for the morning and keep it more dramatic for the nighttime. Okay, so the eyeliner I'm going to use again is the Tom Ford. It's the dual N in Noir, or Deeper 01, excuse me. It's the eye defining pen, and I usually use the thicker end. Just like that. I'm going to try and do this on camera. I usually do it off camera just because my eyeliner is, as everybody knows, is really hard to do. Not my eyeliner, just in general. But if I mess up, that's what these videos are for. I can show you how to correct it too, because I have done that before. Alright, so I'm going to start with this eye like I always do. And I cannot talk while doing this, so I apologize. Alright, and then I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Brag Mascara. I believe it only comes in black, but this is the black mascara. And one of the tricks I like to do when I do not use false lashes is I'll apply a very generous coat of mascara and then I'll press and hold the lashes up. I know that looks really weird, but it helps lift the lashes and make them look bigger and bolder. And I did a thinner wing so you can see the lashes more. So you can see the side with lashes and the side without. And then, like, as you see, I took my finger and I just pressed it in place, held it there for a little bit. That way, because when you do it with the wand, you kind of have to do it in 2 different parts, as you've seen. But with my finger, I can push them all up, but just be careful so you don't get it on your actual eyeshadow. Okay, so that'll do it for the daytime look. I think it looks really nice. I really like how pretty that orange and gold and brown shade look together with that little pop of green at the bottom with just a wing and some mascara. Again, I did use the C1 shade, the D2, the C5, and a little pop of B1 on the bottom lash. I'm going to hop off camera, remove this, and get set again, and we can jump into our dramatic time look. I'm definitely really excited to play with that because, like I said, this really pretty D1 shade here, it's like a sparkly blue, is calling my name. And definitely playing with some of the really dark blues and incorporating greens into it. So I will be right back. Okay, we are back. I removed everything and will reset. I'm not going to set my under eyes and try and catch some products. I didn't have a trouble with the first one, the purple one. Hopefully I don't live to regret that. Don't let me down. But I definitely want to do a much more dramatic look, and I want to do a lot with the blues and the greens. So I think the first one that I want to try is this really pretty green shade. It's called B1. And I'm just going to pick up a fluffy brush. Let's use this one. This is JH45, and it's a fluffy brush, but it's more flat-headed, and I feel like I can be a lot more specific with it. Okay, so the brush is now loaded. Ooh, that is very pigmented. It's kind of like a spearmint green. It's really pretty. And by the way, if you did not watch my first video in this series, these shades are super buttery, super easy to blend with. It's like done. And then for just the blending in, I'm very vigorously but softly blending the rest of this green shade. Not completely into the inner portion of my eye, the inner corners, but just about 75%. Okay, so then the next shade that I want to pick up is I really want to pick up a very pretty blue. I want this to be like a green blue type of look. I want to go in with B5. I'm going to use the same brush, but this time I'm going to place the shadow in different places. I'm going to start by placing it a lot lower on the lid. So I want to create, instead of like that half cut crease, I want to do like a halo eye. And I have not done one of these in a while. So we're praying. And then I'm going to take this shade and put it right here on the inner portion of my eye. So we're doing like a half. We're putting a little bit here on the outer portion. We're bringing it not all the way up below the green that we put on. And then we're putting this blue shade on the inner portion as well. And we're going very slow and taking our time with it, keeping it fairly low and not as high. Okay, and then next what I want to do is I want to take one of these darker blue shades, still the same brush. I want to pick up, I can't decide if I want to do C5 or D5, C3 or D5, excuse me. I think we're just going to go with the navy. We're going to go with D5. We're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, except for we're going to keep it even lower than the blue, so you can see where the green is and then the blue. Right now it looks like a hot mess, but it will definitely come together in the end, so just be extremely patient with this, especially when you do this type of eye. Alright, and I feel like I lost a little bit of the blue, so I'm going to go back in with B5 and just go right above that. Alright, and then I want to pick up that B1 shade again and just go right above all of this, connecting everything, making sure everything seems blended out seamlessly. And now what comes the very fun and scary portion. We're going to try and cut the eye. Well, not cut the eye, cut crease the eye. Alright, for this one I need my very tiny, I use a very teeny tiny brush. This one is by Morphe. It has the black handle and the white tip, but I don't know the name of it because it doesn't have one. And I've had this brush for forever. You can actually see the wood starting to peek through. So she's old, but she's obviously still around for a reason. All right, so we got them on the back of her hand. I mean, look how tiny this brush actually is. It's very small. Now I'm not going to do the wipe away like I did with the first video because we are going to be still using a very vibrant blue, so I'm not worried about that blue kind of taking over a little bit. I was only worried about that with the purple look that I did because we were using a stark white. Trying not to block you guys, sorry, I keep blocking you with my mirror and then I'm bringing it down as I see it. Okay, I feel like I have the concealer in places that I want it to be. If it's not, we can always play with it later and clean it up. I'm going to grab my Max Fix Plus and then we're going to spritz the brush. I'll be right back. Alright, still using the same brush because I still want to be very precise with it. I'm going to pick up the D1 shade, that really pretty sparkly blue. Let's see if I can swatch it for you. Oh yeah, this is everything Mama wanted. This is what dreams are made of. I love this blue. Okay, so we have that placed. You can see where things look a little messy and it's not as quite easily and softly blended as I want it to be. So that's okay because like I said before, and I say quite often in a lot of my videos, makeup is a lot of give and take. So we're going to be going back adding some more shade. But I wanted to make sure I gave that blue its moment. So I wanted to make sure it was wide enough and then we're going to go back and clean it up a little. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so I'm using the J853. I'm going to go and kind of start in the reverse. I'm using the D5, that really pretty navy shade. We're going to start down here and blend her in. Okay, and then next we're going to pick up that B5 shade. Again, we're just kind of creating like a very soft ombre look. I wouldn't say soft by any means, but we're trying to marry the shades together so they look very smooth and blended out. Alright, and then I am going to pick up a much more fluffier brush because that brush is not going to do what we need it to do. I am going to pick up the JH40 and go back into the B1 shade. That's that really pretty spearmint green that we are using. And I'm just going to go right above that really cute half moon. What we got going on? Just blend that out so everything looks nice and seamless. And I think what I want to do too is I want to use, hold on, my Jaclyn Hill highlighter. This is in shade Extra, and I want to put just a teeny tiny bit in the center, just like a little bit more. Okay, that was a lot of it, sorry. Just tone that down a lot. Oh yeah, that gave me the kick I needed. I really like how that looks. I am going to show you another trick. I'll be right back. Okay, so another trick that I do to kind of sharpen up that eye as well, just on the outer portion very gently, is I go here on the outer portion and I just swipe up. and it kind of creates a much more sharper look. And it kind of cleans everything up, making things look a lot more smoother. I really like how that looks now. And then I'm going to grab my eyeliner and my mascara, and then we're definitely using a wing for this look. I feel like all that hard work we put into it, she deserves a wing. Alright, so we got our eyeliner. Same thing, we're using the Tom Ford. And we are going to go very soft because we do not want to lose all that artistry that we just put into this. Okay, and the same trick that we use with the cleaning up the eyeshadow, we can also use to sharpen up that wing. Normally I would do my eyes first and then my actual face, so I am aware that I am removing my concealer, but it is definitely worth applying more concealer if you have a much more sharper, cleaner workspace. Before I put on the mascara, I do want to work a little bit with the bottom lash line, just because I feel like we have a lot going on and it would be wrong not to give the bottom lash line some attention. So I'm going to jump in with B5. This is with the JH53. Yes, I did say that right. And then we're going to jump into that D5 navy shade. Now I feel like it's all pulled together. We can use some of that mascara. We are going to put a wing on. Alright, so I'm going to hop off camera and put a wing on and finish the other eye, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back with the final look. I have this eye completed, and then I have a lash and wing on both eyes. I really like how it turned out. It definitely turned out more dramatic than I was hoping for, but in the end, it's not something that I'm upset with. I really like it, and I think it's super pretty. Especially since I haven't done such a dramatic look in such a long time. I actually have a Zoom meeting that I have to do after this, so be exciting to see how people react to my makeup. But I mean, I don't really need anybody's permission to be fabulous, and I can look however I want to look, but I definitely think that it's something that they haven't quite seen in a while. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes down in the reactions that I get. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video, spending time with me, and your support. Until the next one, stay beautiful, stay sexy.